Welcome, my disciples, to the Wrestling with the Guru. I am your humble host, your spiritual wrestling leader, the one, the only wrestling guru. We are going to recap last Monday Night Raw, and we are going to make predictions on the upcoming Robot pay-per-view and give my insight into where Raw may go from here going towards the Royal Rumble. The main theme of Monday Night Raw was the New Day surpassing Demolition on the number of days holding the Tag Team Championship. This was the main theme throughout the entire show. It was the main thing that was going on. It was the main struggle that was going on. Whether New Day was going to be able to hold on to those titles, having not to defend them only once, but to defend them two times. So we begin the show with a triple threat tag match. Really the only three tag teams there is on Raw, minus the Golden Truth and the Primos. During the match, there were many false finishes. The club looked strong early on, as always they do, and they faded away. And then Sheamus and Cesaro looked good. Cesaro at times looked like a Superman. But surely, some way, somehow, Kofi Kingston made a sneaky tag. And the New Day got the 1, 2, 3 and come out with the win. So they went backstage. They had a celebration party. Everything was going good. And all of a sudden, Stephanie McMahon was joining in the festivities. And Xavier Woods accidentally sprayed Stephanie McMahon with champagne. Everybody know that something was going to go happen. Something bad was going to happen here. And sure enough, the New Day was put into their second title defense of the evening in the main event. There was a couple of promos, one with, again, our Universal Champion Kevin Owens trying to renew his friendship with Jericho. There was a confrontation between Rollins and Jericho, and then Reigns come down and interfered, and so the stage was set for a triple threat match between them and the New Day. The main event, go ahead and covering the main event. The main event went back and forth. Significant climax was setting up the pay-per-view with Rollins pushing Kevin Owens into Jericho and breaking up the pin that he had on Xavier Woods. And Jericho gets hit with the finisher, and somehow Xavier Woods pins Jericho. Afterward, Jericho blamed Kevin Owens, and again setting that tension that Jericho, that friendship is over. And in the end, Reigns hits a spear over Owens and looks strong, setting up the pay-per-view. Demolition, congrats, you won. You beat Demolition's record. Wish somehow Demolition could have been there. It would have been great if that could have taken place. We know that there's litigation there between Demolition and the WWE, but in the end, they got the new record. Congrats for them. They held the titles for a very long time. We've been through many ups, through many downs, and we have the new record set, and hopefully very soon we'll have some new champions in the tag team divisions, as the tag team division on Raw has been diluted over the past year. Other things which happened on Raw is pretty, there was a confrontation between Zayn and Mick Foley, which was actually pretty good. If anybody wants to go check that out on YouTube, that's pretty good. Little promo there between Zayn and Mick Foley. It ended up that Zayn was that Mick Foley said he was going to trade Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn said he wanted to be traded to SmackDown. Then it ended up that he was just trying to get Sami Zayn to show some passion, and that he gave him a match with Braun Strowman for 10 minutes. That if and the question is if Sami Zayn can stay in there, can stay in the match with Braun Strowman for 10 minutes. He can survive that with this big, huge beast of a man, Braun Strowman, and it showed Braun Strowman getting another squash match over Curtis Axel, which I wish that they would build up Curtis Axel. He's very talented in the ring, but evidently they're not going to be doing that anytime soon. There was a match between a couple of, actually there were two cruiserweight matches that went on during this episode. There was one between Brian Kendrick and T.J. Perkins, and another one between Daivari and the new Luchador Del Rado. Significant point through this was Jack Gallagher had a promo which was absolutely masterful. I love Jack Gallagher. Anything that Jack Gallagher does is golden. It was completely great. You need to check it out. After this, there was a promo for the Iron Woman match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte. It was odd to me. At least it was odd that neither one of them was there to deliver a promo for their upcoming match on the pay-per-view at Roadblock, which I don't really understand that. During the Rollins promo, between the confrontation of Jericho and Kevin Owens, first thing Rollins said is he wanted Triple H, so maybe we'll get to see that in the upcoming pay-per-view. I would give this episode of Raw a 3 out of 5 stars. I know that's kind of high, but it was actually pretty entertaining. It was good to see that they built up the New Day here in this episode. It's surprising that there was actually good writing in this episode as compared to other episodes has recently been given. Wish they would have showed the WWE Universal Champion a little bit stronger, but understand that they had to build that confrontation between Jericho and Owens. We know that this is leading to something that's going to be happening in the future. All right, let's get to the Roadblock prediction line. First match that we're going to talk about is the kickoff match between Alicia Fox and Bayley. Of course, I believe that Bayley is going to win this. They're building Bayley for a showdown, probably with Sasha Banks. I would look to see Sasha Banks turning heel, and for Bayley to be going against Sasha Banks up in the coming months at WrestleMania. This is just too much money that is just laying there not to put the championship on Bayley. Look for Charlotte to get involved with some other match at WrestleMania. There's been hints of speculation of who that might be actually at WrestleMania, but I look for that to be at WrestleMania. Therefore, let's get into the Iron Woman. Since we're talking about the women's division, let's go ahead and talk about Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. uh, for the women's championship. It's slated for 30 minutes. Probably will be a 30-minute match. I call it Iron Woman match instead of Iron Man. It should be called that. I look for Sasha Banks actually to win this one. I'm going to beat Sasha Banks to win this instead of Charlotte. I hope they do something different to saying other than saying that Charlotte wins all the pay-per-views. It makes no sense at all for Charlotte to win this pay-per-view, to win the women's championship again. Now let's get to Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. I hope this is not a squash match. Both of these characters need to be built up. Sami Zayn has been doing absolutely nothing other than being squashed by Braun Strowman and being fed jobbers. He has done nothing since his feud with Kevin Owens. He's main event material. As I'm going to say this before, Sami Zayn is main event material and needs to at least last for 10 minutes. There needs to be some storyline there. They need to build this guy up. It needs to last for 10 minutes. Then I look for Braun Strowman to completely destroy him. So I'm going to pick Braun Strowman, but look for Sami Zayn to get a little bit of character building here in this match. The triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins versus Brian Kenry. You know, they really need to do something here with the Cruiserweight division. They really need to showcase these guys. My pick is I look for Rich Swann to win. They need to take Rich Swann and they need to build him up and set up a feud with Austin Aries. And Austin Aries needs to take the title off of him and give some clout to the Cruiserweight division. Give some star power to 205 Live. They need this. The other match that's on the schedule is Rusev versus Big Cass. I didn't discuss this in the Raw recap earlier. I really didn't think it was that important. These two, it makes sense, I guess, it would be nice to see Cass built up, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Rusev here. Rusev needs still to be that heel monster, and they need to build him up more. They need more heel monsters on Raw. Next match we're going to look at Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. Jericho is on his way out at WrestleMania. He's going to take time off after WrestleMania. He's got to tour with his band, Fozzy. I look for Jericho to pick up the win here. I look for Jericho to pick up the win because of Triple H's interference. Triple H has been off of TV, off of Raw. Of course, we all know he's been busy with NXT, done a phenomenal job with NXT. But if this feud is going to start, it needs to start with him and Rollins here at Roadblock. Look for Jericho to pick up the win with a Triple H interference. Next, we're going to talk about there is the New Day versus Cesaro, Sheamus versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. My pick, and I'm probably going to be wrong on this, but I'm going to pick them anyway. I want to pick Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for the win. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, New Japan, they were awesome. They come to Raw, they were treated like crap. And suffering through that, I really believe that the club needs to be built up. They need this win. They need that big, huge, monster heel push. Look for it here. It's a long shot. It's probably going to be Cesaro. It's probably going to be Sheamus. It's going to get this win. But they don't need this win. I would like to see the club win here. Make them the monsters that they are. Alright, final match that we're going to talk about today, and the final match of this is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens has had a weak reign as champion. I know that this may be unpopular, but he has. Him placed with Jericho they had some great chemistry together. It was some comedy moments. But again, they really have built Kevin Owens to be a weak heel champion. He should have been built stronger. Number one, you don't have your champion pinned by somebody on Raw. You don't have a heel pinned cleanly on Raw by someone in the middle of the ring. You have to protect your champion. They have not protected Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens could have been that mean little nasty heel, but they've built him weak. It's been great stuff between him and Jericho, but they have misused his talent. But the saying is, I look for Roman Reigns to win the Universal Championship, for him to have the Universal Championship, and for him to have the United States Championship. It bugs me to death for Roman Reigns to carry the United States Championship, to him to carry it with as he comes to the ring with the face towards his back. It's disrespectful for the people that have carried that championship. I don't like it. I don't look for Roman Reigns to get over with the crowd. He's just there. I don't know what can get him over. Love him, hate him. It's just his personality. There's not much personality there in Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens, on the other hand, he really should be the heel that he can be. He needs to be the smart aleck that does anything he can. It's the opportunist to win, but that's not the way they built him. I look for Reigns to get the Universal Championship with Jericho's interference. I look for Jericho to interfere in this match, and for him and Kevin Owens to set up that feud. That there's going to be a feud. Could be wrong here. It could be that Jericho and Kevin Owens have that feud at the Royal Rumble, but I look for Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns to have the rematch, and for Kevin Owens to lose, and for Reigns to go ahead and to be the champion and for Reigns to go ahead and be the champion going into WrestleMania. So that's my predictions, my disciples for Robot 2016. I thank each and every one of you disciples for listening to Wrestling with the Guru. I am the shaman. I am your spiritual leader in all things wrestling. You can follow me at RealGuruWrestle on Twitter.com or email me, therealwrestlingguru@gmail.com. I appreciate all your support. There will be more content on the way. There's a link to my GWO, the Guru Wrestling Order t-shirt, where you can place your order, where you can get your I Believe t-shirt. Thank each and every one of you. Help spread the word, my disciples. Thank you for your support. And until next time, we shall see you on the flip side. Peace, my brothers. Peace, my disciples.